Hello, my dear friends. I'm so happy and excited to be here with you today. And today I have such a fun video. I hope you're gonna love it. I hope you're gonna like it. Subscribe, and I hope this is gonna excite you for what's coming. So, as you may know, I enrolled in becoming a career and personal coach. So last week of studying, of just talking to people, dipping my toes into the coaching world, it totally changed my mind. And I'm here to share something very vulnerable with you that I experienced last weekend, and to talk to the women, my women that I feel so close, connected with my heart with, the women who did everything right. Like, you have the perfect life on the picture. If you ask most of the people, they will tell you your life is so perfect. Why are you unhappy? Why are you sad? What are you getting upset about, anxious about? Like, you don't have nothing to worry about. And these women, I know because I'm one of them, we work on very hard, for a very long time. We work on one area of our life, and I'm talking especially to the younger women and their path to divine womanhood, as I call it, but women in the 20s and 30s. But this can happen to anyone, and I saw it happening to anyone, where we would just dedicate a huge chunk of our life or our time to the one area of our life. And it can be academic achievements, it can be a career, it can be friendships, it can be a relationship. And then at some point, as you'll probably reach that point, as I have as well, it's in the past few years, that you sit down and you still feel unhappy. Like, you set a goal in the past. It's probably a goal for your, let's say it was goal for your career to finish the school and then get the job, your dream job you always wanted, and to reach maybe some status in a company, in a corporate, or open your business, whatever it is. You reach the goal, and now you're sitting down, you're like still unhappy, still something is missing, you still feel frustrated. And this three stories I am gonna talk to you about, I call it illusions. You can call it limiting beliefs. You can call it whatever you want, whatever you're into, psychology, manifestation work, whatever you're into. The path of the woman. Every woman goes through these illusions at some point of her life, and I'm just going out of one of them. And the joy of life is just learning about yourself every day. I am into psychology and development, self-development world for the last 10 years. I've been reading books, going to therapy, having coaches, having mentors, and now becoming one of them. And it's just a wonderful world. First, when you dip your toes in, you feel like, okay, give me a timeline. When is this gonna be over? This is not your academic achievements. This doesn't last for a year, 3 years, 4 years. This is not a doctorate. This is a lifetime process of getting to know yourself, of getting happier and happier and more excited for your life each year. This path requires courage, dedication, and if you are at the first step, as I was a few years ago, you're determined to change something inside of your life because you just feel unsatisfied. And you have those days when you go to your good job, you go to your good career, and you visit a family and friends, you just sit there and you still feel like you're just a person, you're just a woman whose life is happening to her. You have a happy life, you don't have nothing to complain about, but there's still something missing. And for a different woman, it can be different things. We're going to talk about that too. For me, it was skills of emotional intelligence at the beginning, and just the desire to have the good relationship. I have grown up with a parents that had their own kind of marriage, and they got divorced when I was 18, 10 years ago. Maybe a bit more, over 10 years ago. We got separated and divorced. And I remember telling myself, even before they got divorced, I'm never going to have a marriage like them. So I always knew that that's something I'm never going to allow to myself. And so I knew kind of what not to do. For the most of my 20s, if you ask me, like, what do you want to do? I was like, I don't know. I truly didn't know. I just knew what not to do. And if you do know what not to do, this video is going to bring you more clearance. You feel more clear. Anyways, let's start. So the 3 illusions every woman goes through. So you just sit back, and it's going to be entertaining. I'm going to tell them through the stories, all of the stories we heard growing up, most of us. And if you do notice yourself going through one of them at this point, just don't be upset. I know we're high achieving, educated women. We are goal setters, goal getters, and this is just for entertainment. This is just to maybe spark some part of your brain, give you a new perspective, show you a few directions you can go through, and you can just choose to go or not to go. Anyways, at the end of this video, your mind is gonna have totally new perspective on womanhood overall. So the first one is the search of the beauty. So this reminds me of part of a woman's life. If you watched Beauty and the Beast, the first few scenes of the Belle, she was living with her father. She had the house over her head. She had perspective matches with some very handsome, sexy man. But she always liked books, and she felt like she didn't belong into the village she was born into. And she loved her father, and she loved reading books, and she liked interacting with people around her in her environment. But she didn't feel like she belongs there. She always believed like there's something bigger out there. I don't know what it is, but there's something bigger for me. And if you're anything like Belle, anything like me or any of my friends, you feel the same. I left my country of Serbia 5 years ago, over 5 years ago, and I have been living in Ireland. But I always imagine myself traveling the world. Nobody in my family, in my country, nobody that I knew of traveled the world, but I imagine myself traveling the world and having all the dreams of having so much money and happy marriage, but my environment didn't match that. Now, at this point, this happens sometimes earlier, sometimes later. Some women go through the steps, some women get stuck, some women get maybe misled. But this first initial step of the womanhood is when you're in the crossroads and you still feel your desires, you still have your goals and dreams that has nothing to do with reality. And on the other side, you have reality, the family you're born in, the country, the little village, the little town that you're born in, your family and friends that are telling you something different. We all been there. Our society norms, you go to school, you finish school, you have a good job, you find a career, you get engaged, you get married, you birth children, and then somehow after that nobody knows the steps, but somehow you have to do it all at once. But what is happening with your dreams? With those wild, childish dreams? And I'm here to tell you that I tried to suppress those dreams. I really did try, and what I noticed is that I grow more anxiety, I grew more, I was even depressed at some point, more unhappy. I choose to be in a relationship or my dreams, and that relationship did not help me or did not make me happier in any aspects of my life. Why? Because we kind of separated ourselves from the that little kid, from our desires, from our excitement for our life. We separated, we had a part of ourselves that wanted to do so many things that is especially ours, the dreams, and we suppress that. And what does it happen when we suppress part of ourselves? It's harder to be happy, it's harder to feel fulfilled, it's harder to be in those mindsets, emotions, if you ever experienced it. I still remember to this day, I was, I believe, 17 when I first experienced the day of, it was so short, it maybe lasted for 5-10 minutes, just everything is okay, and I was happy, and everything, all the birds in nature was singing to me, and everything seems fine, and everything's gonna be fine, and I'm so loved and cherished. That deep knowing that everything is gonna be fine. I felt it first time when I was 17, I think 17, and since then I've been searching for that feeling, and it only came after I stopped suppressing the parts of myself that desired things that society said it was not appropriate or not good enough or crazy or just doesn't happen in this life. So the first, if you find yourself in this story, in your search for the beauty, if you're a Belle at this point of your life, it is important to sit with yourself whenever you're ready, whenever you feel like it, whenever you decide you're sick of feeling unfulfilled, just to sit with yourself, with your pen and paper, and ask yourself, what do I really want? What do I really want? You can do this in a few ways. You can either sit and look at the paper and you're like, I have no effing clue. I don't know, why am I listening to some random girl on the internet? It did make sense, but it doesn't make sense. I don't know what I want. And then you can write what you don't want. Write down what you don't want and have that list in your head, memorize it. And then whenever you have a new opportunity, whenever you want to do something new, you go back to that list and you ask, is this new thing, for example, going for a dance class, is this dance class on the list of what I don't want to? And you're probably like, no. And then you try and do it. You go out of your comfort zone and you do it. And this is, you get to what you want by trial and error. That's how I do it at the beginning, because I didn't have a clue. I just knew what I didn't want, and I was not doing what I didn't want. That was like hard no, like never again. I was never again getting into a relationship that with a man who didn't know how to express his emotions. Never again. Never again sleeping with a man, one night stand. Never again. I tried it, not for me. And this is how you realize, once when you have your not to do lists, you try new things, and sometimes you feel good doing them, sometimes not. And when it's not, you put it on not to do list. So you literally just, if you don't know your path, you're trying different paths, and if one of the paths leads you to the wall of not to do, you just go the other way. This is how you do it. It's so fun. It gives you so many experiences, confidence in yourself. This is how I built my confidence. The second thing, how you can come to the conclusions of what you want to do at this point. This changes. It changed for me last 3 years, like 5 times at least. So it will change, but at this point, if you sit down and you write the question, what do I want to do? And you put a timer on 15 minutes and you just write for 50 minutes without stopping. This is important. This I heard from many inner work teachers, spiritual people, psychologists. You just write it. Even like if you don't know what to write, you write, I don't know what to write. This is so stupid. My hand is hurting. This does not make sense. If I don't get an answer by the end of the 15 minutes, I would be so pissed. And I promise you, the answer will come in the last few minutes, seconds, last minute or two. Now, the second illusion that women get stuck in different lifetimes of their life, in different ages of their life, with what I meant to say, is the pretty woman story, the perfect woman. This one hits hard. I went through all of this. So I have PhD in all of this. And you probably have too. So we know this is the way we already try to live. It's not working out. So the second thing, the pretty woman, pretty perfect woman. In my last video, one of my last videos, I talked about perfectionism. This is very big with me. This is, you know where you want, you know what you want. For example, you want a lifelong relationship. And you maybe start learning about how you may try to get that demand, what man is good for the long-term relationship, what wasn't. There is so many knowledges. I've been studying this for past 3 years about men, and because I did not get all of these knowledges from my birth family. As I said, my parents were divorced. So, and then you get to the point of, okay, I know a little bit more than I used to, but you're so afraid to getting it wrong that you never try to implement those new knowledges that leads you to your goal, ultimate goal. So what stops you? Your good girl syndrome, your perfectionist in you, your need to look perfect, not to make mistakes. Oh my god, if I go onto dating sites, what will people think about me? What if I meet on a dating site somebody that I work with or I know and they tell my family and friends? I don't want to make fun of this situation because I was in it and I was scared. But I love trying new things. So for you, I would just say it, do it. Just do it. Just do it. You don't have to do the biggest thing at once. You can just do a little by little thing. Break, for example, if your goal is to find your husband, future husband, to find your future long-term relationship. I don't believe in relationships like boyfriend, girlfriend, but husband that will lead to marriage. And now you want to try going to the dating apps because you need to open the ways that they can meet you. And you're scared. For example, you're scared, you get inside of your head, oh, what? You didn't even open your dating app. And you're like, oh my god, what if I see that man on the app or this man, or what if my parents figure out, or my friends, and they'll make fun of me, yada yada yada. And the easiest way to go through this is to break it into simpler steps. What I do with myself. This is how I went into the coaching course, because at first I wasn't sure if I was gonna be a life, career, personal coach. Now I love it. I will, definitely will. But when I first started, I knew myself well enough that I will have stories inside of my head, limiting beliefs, illusions that I heard from somewhere in this noisy world, that this is bad because of that or that or that, or anything that will stop me going through it. This is normal for our brains. Our brains as humans, we all humans have the same brain, so it's universal for everyone. Our brains like certainty. Certainty is safety. In our human evolution, certainty saved our lives when we were hunter-gatherer tribes, when we were in small groups of people. Knowing where the wild animals are that can hurt the people from our tribe help us stay protected, go to the safest areas of forests, jungles, wherever. So knowing is the brain's like safe blanket. And you know a lot because you studied and you love studying and reading, and you feel so accomplished in one area of your life because you focused all of your brain power into achieving those little steps that you didn't know. And this is how you became successful. So you already know this on a self-conscious level. Now that you hear me saying that your brain likes security, this is why you're actually kind of like paralyzed, scared of trying the new things, going to the dating app. So you break dating into little steps. Okay, you have the goal and you ask yourself, what is the first step? What is the smallest step I can make today? You literally write it down and you answer it. And you do it. That may be just download the app. Or it could be just make your profile. You don't need to make it visible. Or it can be, maybe I'll talk to that one friend that I know she went to the dating apps. And this is how you start. So you write one little step that I can make today. You do it today. This is important because this is how your brain starts building that muscle again. That it's safe. The little steps are safe. When I say I'm going to do something in that period of time, I'm going to do it. And it's going to happen. So your brain starts making a pattern. This is how I started, as I said, coaching. I was terrified of being like the life coach, the end goal, which happens only in 8 months. But I knew my brain. I said to myself, okay, I don't have to be a life coach. Yes, I'm paying money to learn all of these knowledges, but I am living, breathing, inhaling, like everyday self-development. So this is normal for me. And this was going to help me no matter if I had business, if I had kids, it's going to help me. And I don't have to be a life coach. I'm just attending. I'm just having fun. I'm just attending. This is just another course that I'm going to invest in. I invested in like tens and thousands of euros in self-development. So this is nothing. This is how I fooled my brain. That it's not that big of a deal. I may never be a coach, but I'm going to do it because it's fun. So how can you implement this kind of mindset of, this may never bring me my future husband, my lifetime partner, but it's fun. Let's see what everybody's talking about. Let's have a good laugh. Let's laugh at some man and it's all going to be fine. How can you implement that mindset into your path to reaching the goals? Because this is what I'm still learning. I'm not the best at it. But the goal should never be a priority, is never a priority to the fulfilled, happy, wealthy person. I've been surrounded by some wealthy people for quite a few years, and the goals, they love goals, but they also enjoy the path. They also know that the path is what brings them even more satisfaction than achieving the goal. And this is very hard, especially as we are like high achieving women, goal oriented. We have to-do lists. This can be hard, but this is also a muscle that we have to practice with time. And I have the third one, but I'm gonna make a third video telling you about the third path. Which one is it? It is the red. I have to Google it. The name of the story is the red-headed girl, red hood girl. That girl that went off the path. She knew the path, but she went a little bit off. I'm gonna make a third video, another video on that, because I have so much to tell you, because I was in part of that story this weekend and I have realized that I just went a little bit off my path and I'm so ready to get back on. So if you are interested in that video, I'm going to post in the next few days, but I would love if you subscribe. If you struggle with feeling numb in your life, you can watch this video here, and I'll talk to you very soon. You have a nice, good day.